Welcome. Tiny Hands, Big Dreams, here on the homestead in southern Ecuador. We came across something on the internet that made us start talking and discussing. And so we're going to call this a chew the cud of something you really need to think about. Why you fail in homesteading. Why people fail.
Specifically in self-sufficiency.
In self-sufficiency.
Because people can homestead and it's just like a hobby and it's something they enjoy. But we're coming at it from a more self-sufficiency perspective. People
focus on I have to get this thing, or I have to have this ability, or like this like system, tool, something. You got to look a little closer.
Or a little broader, I guess, depending on how you want to look at that.
And this is why we have these discussions. We have completely different opinions sometimes, different angles.
So your mindset. You have to think about things differently. You cannot approach self-sufficiency with the same mindset that you have had living in the suburbs and going to grocery stores and...
Like, people will go and buy a chunk of land, a little farmhouse, and like, you changed your location, but have you changed you?
Have you changed the way you think about you and your life?
Your expectations.
You have to change those things to be successful.
Let's throw out an example. All right, so things that we used to just go and buy and rely on the larger world as it was, that we then had to decide if we're going to be self-sufficient, we have to make this ourselves. Sauce.
Sauce.
We do not buy sauce in any shape or form.
No, we don't buy a single sauce.
We buy nothing in jars even, and nothing in cans. Tuna.
Tuna.
We occasionally buy some tuna. We could live without.
Yeah.
So there was a couple that we loved, sweet chili sauce. Man.
Mayploy,
sweet chili sauce. If you've never tried it, go look for it in a store and give it a try.
I used to buy it at like the restaurant supply store.
Oh, some shredded beef, some Mayploy, make a big like sandwich out of it. Yeah. There's like some sort of version here.
It's not quite right.
It's not good.
It's not what we wanted.
No, I don't think anybody really wants it. They don't really sell much of it.
I don't know. So because I looked at, what we enjoy, and I decided this was something that, well, one, I could make it. There are certain sauces, certain things. It is not going to.
Yeah.
Just not possible. I could make it, and it was worth making. Like, we wanted it enough that I was willing to figure out how to make it.
So you'll put the time into, to grow the things, to make the sauce, to jar the sauce, to then when you go to do meals, this sauce goes into these different meals, and that is a main ingredient of certain meals, like fried rice or any stir fry. Some of the sweet chili sauce goes in.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have it over like breakfast with like potatoes and things and stuff.
It's just like one of the main sauces.
Oh my gosh, it's delightful. And she's figured out how to make it exactly the way we like it, the way we used to be able to buy it.
Yeah.
We are now self-sufficient for that kind of sauce.
Now, that's not saying that we grow all of the ingredients for it, nor could we, realistically. I mean, we'd be stretching pretty hard to try to grow all the ingredients to make it.
We could.
We'd stretch pretty hard on that one.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's really in the cards. You can make tapioca starch?
That's the hard one. It's a process.
It's very fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we could. and I guess this is the important part, is if we couldn't make something.
Right.
Or if we wanted to be so far self-sufficient that we wouldn't buy, say, tapioca starch.
Right.
Then we would simply make the decision to no longer have that thing.
Right. You'd either modify it to use something that we could make. Maybe it's a cornstarch or just nothing. Maybe it's just thin sauce. But it would still flavor the meal correctly, and then it would have to be thickened via some other method. We could still do it.
Or we would choose not to. I'm not saying even with that particular thing. But I think that's the other side of it, is we would just choose no longer eating that thing.
And
we have done many times.
There's a bunch of things that we just don't eat.
So, of course, most of this is going to be food related, because That's most of what we think about.
It's
But-
a relatable
But
subject.
also, it is the main focus of homesteading, of being self-sufficient. is
If you are
eating.
food self-sufficient.
Like, that's the main purpose.
So if you simply look at, okay, what comes from my farm, my area, trade with neighbors, we'll call all that kind of the same thing, versus what do I go and buy from a store that comes from somewhere I have no idea? In a can, in a jar, in a thing.
Well, sure, yeah, there's those levels. So I think part of it is figuring out what level you're comfortable with,
Yep.
what level you want to be. And sometimes that isn't comfortable, I guess. Like,
And
I wouldn't say it's
sometimes people
comfortable.
want to say that they're self-sufficient, but really, if they honestly look at it, they're really not.
They're really not. And maybe that's okay for them. That might be okay. But
Yeah.
I think, so we get told quite often, and we see quite often, that self-sufficiency is impossible. And I guess I've always kind of railed against that, but maybe,
The local natives would argue with
but
you.
maybe it's true. But maybe it's true. Maybe it's true for a lot of people. Maybe you can't actually be self-sufficient without changing your mindset.
Yes.
There are people who go into it going, well, I can't be self-sufficient because spices and sauces and convenience and things, and I just couldn't.
I just have to have these certain things.
Which is just your mindset. It's
Now,
not
there
real.
are native people that live near us that, until recently, lived completely self-sufficient. They didn't have...
In the large part, I think they still do.
They wear commercial-made clothes. They
But I guess
they drive cars.
I was focusing the food.
They buy cement. They who knows about maybe the food is a little.
Yeah.
They still do, for the most part. And a lot of people, mostly our neighbors, grow their own food, and their diets are simpler.
So let's talk about the simplicity of things, because that, I guess, for me has been the biggest thing. Moving somewhere where all of those conveniences just didn't exist for us, and then moving farther away from a city to somewhere where not only are those conveniences that we're used to not available, but like really just not a whole lot is nearby us.
Yeah.
So no, I'm not going to make all the same meals that I used to make when I went to like 5 different grocery stores. And
We're buying rice noodles from Vietnam. We're buying...
And as someone who enjoys cooking, and I enjoy all the different cuisines.
Worcestershire sauce.
And I enjoy all of those things. So I really enjoyed cooking with all the different ingredients.
Yeah.
So
You would make something from every continent, like...
throughout the week.
Yeah, every week.
And it was fun. And
was
I enjoyed
great.
it. So it was a huge mindset shift when I realized that wasn't going to happen anymore. It just wasn't realistic for where we live, and it really isn't realistic as we get closer and closer to self-sufficiency.
So to try to continue that in that mindset, but to move towards where we are is simply an incompatible.
It would have been a complete failure, because we would have been like, well, we can't do this and this is impossible, and I just give up.
And I guess there's people that are doing exactly that and sort of failing rather publicly.
Or feel like they're failing. When really maybe they're not. Well, but the thing is maybe they wouldn't have to fail.
Maybe they're not being honest with themselves and their wants.
Yes.
And they want to call themselves self-sufficient. Or maybe it's just good YouTube video advertising.
Or maybe they just haven't made the mindset shift to living differently.
Yeah.
They're still very focused in trying to live a certain way when they can't do that self-sufficiently.
Right.
And it's true, they can't be self-sufficient if they want all of these things.
So then they have to cheat. Except for this, and except for that, and except for this, and this and that, and that's okay, and that doesn't count.
Which is just sort of like, you've got to be in one camp or another. You have to decide you want to be fully self-sufficient or not.
Yeah.
Not everyone's going to be, and that's totally fine. But to say that people can't be self-sufficient, I think is just false.
Yeah.
So, more examples. Non-food related.
Non-food.
Because there is more to the self-sufficiency land than just food. That means we're also off-grid.
Yes.
Now, for me, I don't know about you, but for me, that has definitely meant some changes in routines, thoughts, just things to consider.
Let's do laundry.
Laundry.
Mindset on laundry, typical American standard way of doing laundry. you groan about it, you complain, you got to do laundry, oh, it's this giant hassle, you throw it all in the washer, you move it to the dryer, you take it out, oh my God, I have to fold it. So now, we still have a washer.
Well, so part of it is I used to be able to do multiple loads in a day. It was like the laundry day.
Yeah.
And you were just like...
Oh, you do like 5 or 6
all the laundry.
Right.
That is a very normal way of approaching laundry most places. That's not the case anymore.
We now have a bottleneck in drying. So doing laundry, like we have a washing machine, it does a mediocre job. It washes the
5
clothes.
million years. Sorry.
And it doesn't get things terribly clean.
Which means you have to do smaller loads.
Yeah.
To actually get them clean.
And we don't have hot water connected to the washer. But the real bottleneck in the energy usage is drying. You're either going to have a gas dryer, which is a ton of gas, or you're going to have an electric dryer, which is a ton of electricity. Unless you have a giant off-grid solar package, you're going to learn to, when you look at doing like a solar package to live off-grid, and you do the quote, and the guy comes out to your house and looks at your usage, which is the same thing that I do, and he goes, okay, so if you're not going to change your habits, here's the list of like usages, here's your total, and you gasp.
You start going, what thing can I not do?
And he's like, well, if I just take off laundry, I can chop the system by like 20 or 30% right there. Sunk. And it's just drying. If we take off, and then you take a few line items off and you're like, I'm down to 30% of the entire first cost that he gave me by a few changes of, I'm going to use a clothesline to dry clothes. I'm going to, wow. And that's a lifestyle change.
But the mindset shift for me was that laundry was a continuous event.
Yeah, we don't get enough sun here to like dry clothes in a day, and they're dry and it's great.
Well, we do in the dry season, but the last 6 months have been
while it's never cold. There's a lot of days that are just not sunny and not hot. They're just 70,
which is lovely for us,
and
just
mildly
not
humid.
So much for the laundry,
and it just sort of hangs in the shade because you have to have the shade because it rains on and off. It's slightly schizophrenic weather.
It's moody.
It's moody. Yeah, someone said that about you. Like, well, what mood is it? Oh, we don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Check time, look up.
It is the biggest joke that every time it's sunny, I'm like, I'm going to do laundry today. And then by the time you get the laundry in the washer and the washer goes and you go to get it out of the washer, it has started to rain.
Yes. It's beautiful and hot and sunny. And she goes, I'm going to do laundry. And it echoes over the mountain. I'm like, uh-oh, clouds heard you.
And it's true almost every time.
Yeah.
So it has been something that, because I'm the one who does most of the laundry, I've had to adjust to, and I've had to just sort of be okay with. Your laundry's not all going to be dry at once and clean at once. It's not going to happen. You're not going to have that magical
Your
day.
shirts dry faster than my shirts, dry faster than my jeans.
And then the sheets are just a total gamble. Do you want to wash your sheets today? I don't know.
So our backup on sheets, if you hang them, and the washer takes a million years, so they're not done until the afternoon. Like they're just sort of terrible. So you hang your sheets, and then you start to get to the afternoon, you're like, are they dry? Are they dry? Are they dry? Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. We put them in the container, and I have an old dehumidifier on its last legs. It still sort of goes. And I got ropes in the container, so I hang them up in the container, and I turn on the dehumidifier, so I can now use solar power to run a dehumidifier. And I have an extra fan in there too that circulates air. And I just sort of blow dry air around. And in an hour or two, the sheets are dry.
In emergencies, yeah.
Yeah. And it uses like a kilowatt or two, which is freakishly less than a dryer would use.
And that's something that might seem small, but when you're doing it all the time.
We don't have spare sheets. This is the other problem. If you just have spare sheets, then you just hang your other sheets, you get another set of sheets. Well, that's great. We don't have spares of anything anymore. Like we're down to like the last of everything's.
So that's something that was an adjustment. And I think it would be really easy to look at that and be frustrated or irritated or like, well, this just isn't worth it. Or there's a lot of things that
there's some people throw up their arms and I can't do laundry and it's just not, and just throw a fit.
Because they haven't changed their mindset from what they're used to.
And that's the failing.
You have to look at what you're used to, and you have to be like, okay, this isn't reality anymore. This is not my reality anymore. And you have to get used to a completely new way of existing.
The mind can be completely flexible or inflexible.
Yes.
It just depends on the person. It depends on
your practice.
If you want to do it, and you want to move somewhere and be off grid, you could, and you would enjoy it, and you'd enjoy all the steps of it. If you didn't really want it, then every little thing is now an annoyance. It is now, oh, you're disgruntled. It's uncomfortable. It's things. It's agitation, and then that builds up in your mind. Your mindset sets your experience.
Now, I have to push back a little bit on that.
Okay.
You can really want to be somewhere. I really want to be here. I really think this is the right place for us.
Okay.
I'm very happy. Sometimes the laundry debacle is a freaking pain, and I'm irritated because nothing ever gets dry. And it's okay. Like, I in no way think that people should just be like, oh, everything's great, everything's awesome.
No.
There are times where being off-grid, being self-sufficient is just a freaking pain.
Or you go to take a shower, and the day's over, and everything's done, and you're done your dinner and your things, and the kid's gone to bed, and there's no water. Where's the water? Why is there no water? Why is the water gone?
Oh, God.
Yeah. So then you got to, like, somebody has to suit up and hike up the mountain, somebody, with a shovel and a flashlight or two and a machete to find out what has gone wrong with the water.
Are you super overjoyed at that moment?
Oh my God, I hate it.
I know. So what other mindset shifts? Maybe that is, and I think that has to do with who you are as a person too. There are people who are more just generally flexible in nature. There are people who are more rigid in nature. So for some people, it is a harder adjustment than for others.
Like when you came around the corner on the way to the market in the van, and we're all excited to go to the market and get our things because we're totally out of food, which is all her job, is taking care of the feeding, and there's a mountain of mud covering the road. The colors of expletives
it wasn't as bad as
exceeded the rainbow.
It was not nearly as bad. No, the inside was far worse.
I know.
Than the outside.
I could hear it.
You can hear them in my brain.
And I just sort of looked at it and went, "That's what today is."
But that didn't mean that I was like angry and miserable about it. I just had a moment of, oh, okay, what do I do about all these things and this stuff? And then, okay, go get shovels.
Yeah.
Everyone has different ways of approaching situations.
Assess the disaster.
But there are people who would just like, well, I don't want to do this anymore. This is too hard.
And so we get into the dynamic of couples. And there's a ton of people, husband, wife. One wants to go like live off grid, closer to nature, live more simply. And the other doesn't want to get divorced.
Perhaps.
And they're like, I'm just going to go stroll out and this and that and catch a brunch with some friends and some Starbucks and do some shopping. And that's like their day. And they sort of agree tentatively to like, yeah, let's do your adventure thing. But their heart's not in it. Which changes their experience of every different little event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what ways have you had to change your mindset?
Oh gosh. So, all right. It used to be like, I'll go to build a thing or fix a thing. That's what I like to do. That's what I'm good at.
That's your job in this.
And I kind of put together a list and like, I'll order some parts and some things and some stuff, and it'll show up, and I'll kind of put it all together and be like, I really need a pack of resistors and a thing, and I need a tool for that. And I would order them.
We ordered from Amazon so much.
And then we moved to the Amazon.
Oh, you don't do that.
Yeah. So now I'm working on a pig trap. Let's see. Pig trap. Whatever I have to laying around to do the purpose. What do I have?
What is the pig trap? It sounds like we're trapping wild pigs. They're moderately wild.
We have free-range pigs. Sometimes you need to pause them, control them a little bit, in order to assist in medical care, dispatch, different things.
Just for safety of everyone involved.
Right. So, like, well, what do I have laying around? I have a budget of 0. I have some old rebar mesh that's cut sort of all wonky. So I've taken all the little pieces that I've saved that I've cut off over the year, and I have welded them back together, remaking rebar mesh. And then I bent it, and I made a door. And this is like literally just what what do I have? Well, I have some string, and I have some old wire that was an old pig fence, and I have this, and I have that. Like, I have my welder, so I have some tool. That's it. Much of what we do is literally, what do you have already laying around that you can repurpose?
And that takes a certain mindset that not everyone has to start off with.
No, they're like, well, I don't have this thing, and they're stuck.
Because it's not the thing that, like, the blueprint said I needed to have.
We are way off the rule book into the literally just create the universe as we are able to see fit, make whatever do.
And some things then are not really possible, like in a normal way.
There are certain things that are simply beyond our capability. When I get into like electronics, I don't have the ability to create electronics. No. So, future video coming up. Pig trap. Does it work? Does it contain a pig? Does it blow apart? Is it comical?
It rains really.
That's a lot of rain. All right. Bit of an aggressive rain moment. Our weather can be moody. You had something to add.
Yeah. One more example revolving around growing food.
Okay.
So, a huge part of homesteading is growing your own food. Self-sufficiency is determined upon where you live. So, we moved to somewhere tropical, subtropical. We can grow fruit of all varieties.
Oh, yeah.
Now, if you live in, say, northern Canada, you're not going to most likely grow avocados without great struggles.
No, not without fancy greenhouses.
So the normal homesteader, therefore, would not.
Yeah.
Which means you probably, if you are aiming towards self-sufficiency, have to simply not eat those things.
We don't get blueberries.
Well, so my example for us, while we move somewhere with many, honestly, we have a huge variety of things we can grow.
Yeah.
We have a particular problem with potatoes, which we like, which we eat a lot of.
We love potatoes. The problem with potatoes, as we found out, is the South Andes here, it turns out, is the home for many interesting types of diversity of fungus that spread around the world, caused the potato famine thing, potato blight. This is the home of potato blight. So we talk about all of our landrace varieties, and there's 100 varieties of bananas and platanos and things and whatever else.
Huh?
There's 1,000 or 1,000,000 varieties of blight.
So,
yeah,
we probably can't grow potatoes. I'm not done trying. I have many times. Yeah, I have many things I want to try. But
right, there's a lot of ifs. If we could get resistant stalks, resistant potatoes that resisted it,
But I had to come to some sort of realization, mindset shift.
Yeah.
That there is a solid chance we can't grow potatoes as any significant portion of our food.
We might get lucky sometime. Yeah. But mostly we don't count on that.
So that was a big shift when that is typically a staple that you would grow. So for us, I look at potatoes probably aren't going to grow well. It's a struggle. I can't rely on it.
Right.
What is culinarily similar that I can use in place in many instances is the sweet potato, which happens to grow really well.
It does well. It's slow because we don't get a ton of light hours.
But all things that we grow are a little slower.
They grow year round, but they're slow.
But they grow with minimal input. They don't seem susceptible to any sort of diseases. Insects don't bug them more than they can handle.
Weed pressure is about it.
But what I'm saying is that the shift from my normal mindset is grow potatoes because everyone grows potatoes because it's easy to grow, because we like them. And I've had to shift away to maybe we need other options because the potatoes simply aren't going to work here.
It's true.
Now, the other way is just, well, then we won't be self-sufficient because I want potatoes.
Yeah. a lot of people grow yucca. Yucca, again, grows super easy and well here. Sort of replicates a potato in like a dietary sustenance kind of way.
You don't like it. But the point I was making is you could come across that issue of potatoes aren't growing here.
Right.
And you could go, then I will not be self-sufficient because I want to eat potatoes. And that's one mindset. The other is, potatoes aren't growing here. What can I grow instead of potatoes
Right.
to maintain self-sufficiency where I am? And those are two completely different mindsets.
They are.
One is going to preclude you from being able to be self-sufficient. That's just a fact. You then will not be self-sufficient if you want to eat something that will not grow where you live.
Right.
That's it. That stops your self-sufficiency train right there.
Your mindset.
That's your mindset.
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense.
It's not that one is wrong or right.
No, it's
just that you cannot work
you just have
towards
to change
self-sufficiency
your
without
mindset.
change. Yes, you have to change your mindset to be able to work towards self-sufficiency. Yeah.
All right. Is that it?
I think so.
Okay. So that's chewing the cud. Sitting around discussing topics of importance,
Interest.
things to
Ponder.
ruminate over. Subscribe if you haven't. Check out our other videos. We have a ton of videos. There's hundreds of videos. There's some cool ones in there. Not just the latest and greatest, but there's some good ones. So, thanks for watching. Now that the rain's going to pick up again, we'll see you for the next one.